If you live in Texas, chances are good you've had one of these, a kolache. Whether you like them sweet or savory, these delicious, pillowy baked goods are the perfect breakfast. For Randy Hines, the tradition began as a young boy. Growing up in the Czech belt of Texas, a part of central Texas where Czech immigrants began settling in the mid-1800s, kolaches were always on the table. Today, kolaches are more than just a family tradition for Randy, they're a business. He and his wife Lucy are the owners of the Kolache shop, a familiar Houston spot that's been around for more than 50 years. Randy learned the trade from Kolache shop's previous owner, Erwin Ahrens, who passed the business to Randy and Lucy in 2014. With 3 locations in the Houston area and 1 north of Dallas, Randy and Lucy Hines are still using original recipes that have been passed down for generations. And they're inspiring a new generation of kolache lovers, including their 7 children, who spend plenty of time in the kitchen with mom and dad. Randy and Lucy believe the keys to a delicious kolache are fresh, made-from-scratch ingredients, a respect for the generations who came before them, and a whole lot of love.
Okay, well, now I love kolaches even more. Randy Hines joins us now in studio. Welcome to Houston Life, Randy.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
And we're going to meet Pio, your son, who's standing by in the kitchen. We're going to meet him in just a moment. This really is incredible. I love your story. 10 years it's been since you and Lucy purchased the business, essentially. But tell us the story of how this began, because I understand you sort of started as an apprentice. You went in and just asked to learn how they make kolaches.
Yeah, that's it. In fact, so I grew up in the Czech belt, so like Hill Country and like Gulf Coast. So specifically Wharton County, where kolaches were free-flowing like water. I mean, you just, as a kid, you think this is what the whole world is eating, right? And you learn later that, no, this is a very specific cultural thing happening in a very limited area. And so for me, it was just such a part of my upbringing, and they were at weddings and funerals and parties and everything. And so when I lived in Washington, D.C. for a few years, that's when I was like, where are all of my beloved Texas foods, right? So all the things, but the chief among the things would be the kolache. And I was like, I'm gonna go learn to make them from my favorite place in Houston, which was Kolache shop.
Wow.
And so I called up the owner, who I didn't even know at the time, called him up, and he said, this is interesting, swing by. So I swing by, and gosh, we just hit it off.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say you hit it off. Now,
yeah, can you tell now?
this kolache shop, I mean, there's always a line out to the street. I mean, did you realize that it was going to be so well received in the Houston community? How does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, it makes me feel wonderful. No, it was, kind of sight unseen in the sense of, we'd seen the bakery, but it's just an act of faith. We didn't know what was going to happen. I was an auditor by trade prior, and so the joke is that, I went from being the guy that no one wanted to see to the guy that everyone wants to see. I'm the kolache guy now, right? So it just seemed to fit my temperament better, and I loved my career prior, but I love this one too. And so it's just a great warm feeling knowing that we're serving the people that we want to serve, and in a way that we want to do.
Yeah. It is a pretty powerful thing, I can imagine, to create a product, to serve a product that people love, and people always have a smile on their face. And the satisfaction, I know it comes in, obviously it's a business, right? You want people to like your product, that translates into a booming business, but also your kids grew up in the kitchen, and they still do spend time in the kitchen. So is that sort of the family plan that you hope your son Pio and some of the others will continue on?
Well, I will say the industry is challenging, and so we'd never force it on them, but if they wanted to, absolutely, we'd be right there lockstep, helping them into it. And so my oldest 2 sons are actually working in the bakery now and learning all the family secrets and trade secrets and everything. And so it's a very inspiring for me to see them taking the reins.
Well, secrets aside, I mean, you have this wealth of knowledge on how to run a successful business. You have all of your kids with you. I mean, are they constantly asking you advice? Are people asking you for advice? And what is it, if so?
And these photos are adorable, by the way.
They're so cute. You have a family of cuties.
I haven't even seen those in a while, and they're just melting my heart seeing them. But yeah, all the shirts and the whole 9 yards. But as you can see, we had them in at a very early age, just having some fun, right? Getting their hands in the dough and rolling it out, and not for sale, obviously, but just to get them in to see what mom and dad do, right? And back in the early days when I was baking a lot, I was gone at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'd come home when they were awake, and they're like, what do you do when you're gone? I'm like, well, let's go see, you know?
Yeah.
Get your shirt on, your hat on, let's go proof some dough and make it happen. And so yeah, people do approach us and say, what exactly are you doing? And honestly, it's just day by day, right? We're just figuring out as we go along, and we're not experts at it, but 10 years has come and gone, and we're very, very pleased with the results so far.
I think you're expert.
That's what I think. That's literally, I'm like, you're not an expert.
Yeah, you're definitely an expert. When you're a small business owner, is there ever a point for you that you feel like you can kind of step back, or is it always go, go, go 24/7? That, your wife Lucy, your 7 children, I mean, you have a very full plate.
Yeah, I would say, thankfully, we're at that point now where we can step back a bit from day to day. We just have, really the key is people, right? People and processes, but really of the two people. I mean, we have phenomenal people who have bought into the culture, and we're all about, kindness and positivity and dedication. And our people just step up every day, which lets us kind of take a back seat and look at vision and mission on all kind of the bigger picture things.
We're looking at a picture of you and your beautiful wife right now. What do you guys, when you kind of reflect on it, what is the inside, like, can you believe it moment? Do you have any of those?
We do. I have one very specifically. So probably a year in, I was baking, which was unplanned. I was kind of thrown into the baking role. She's working the front, I'm working the back. And we were super busy, which was great and stressful. And she's in the back getting some product to take to the front. And she looks at me and says, "Mouths, we're doing it." Like, we're actually riding the bike, so to speak, right? Like, we're really doing it. I just felt very wonderful and confident knowing that we're really doing it. And this great venture that we didn't know would succeed, obviously, was succeeding really well. And not just succeeding, but together, which was the very special part of it.
Well, I think the proof is the line out the door, the fact that you have 4 locations. Will there be more locations in the future?
I'm happy to say yes. Mid next year, we're opening the Memorial Spring Branch area at Gester and I-10. And so we love those communities so much. We can't wait to serve them. So Gester and I-10, there's a pit room that just opened up recently. And so we can't wait to be there.
It's fantastic. And we're tight on time, but we understand you're working with other small businesses, essentially sourcing ingredients for use in your kolaches.
Yes, in fact, we're doing a collaboration with Brennan's, who you just had Chef Carl on recently.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great friend of mine. They do wonderful things there. We're doing a pralines and cream kolache. We use their pralines, which they're famous for them. Well, they would call them pralines.
Pralines.
I should clarify, Chef Carl, sorry. So pralines and cream, and we love being involved with the community and celebrating all the things that Houston is known for.
Wow. That's great. Doing well by doing good. Okay, Randy Hines, sit tight, because after the break, we're going to head into the kitchen to meet your son, Pio, 15-year-old Pio. He is holding down the fort just in time for the holidays. They've brought some gift ideas for the home cooks and bakers in your life.
Houston Life will be right back. Well, ready or not, Houston Life is back. Baking puns are the least we can do with our friends here. Back with the Kolache shop owner, Randy Hines, and his son, Pio, who has loved baking from a young age.
Okay, and I know you guys have some of your favorite holiday gift ideas for chefs and home bakers. Pio, your dad describes you as like the star chef and baker in the family. Did you always love being in the kitchen?
So some of my very earliest memories are in the kitchen, making like breakfast tacos with my mom or like biscuits with my grandmother. So from there, it just like took off.
We saw the cutest picture of baby Pio, young,
baby Pio,
in the kitchen doing just that. I mean, what do you think about it that like you took to it more so than your siblings? You're like, move out of the way, I know what I'm doing here.
That is true, by the way. He was like, move, I'm in the kitchen.
I feel like it's just like the concept of always wanting to learn more.
There's a picture.
I mean, this is so adorable. I hope we're not embarrassing you too much.
The big wave.
But look, what were you, maybe 5 years old?
Oh, that was my 5th birthday, yeah.
So,
wow.
Do you remember, this time of your life when you were first in the
I do
kitchen?
remember that, yeah.
Look at these beautiful, beautiful
really is
pastries.
And I understand you and your brother, so you're working in the bakery, you're working up front, you're in the back. This is your career game plan, is that right?
Yeah, it might be, because like, it's like in the family, so it's really helpful to like get to know the business.
Yeah.
And it's not the only thing you have to do, but it's definitely
no.
one of the things you have in your wheelhouse. So I hope you're not going to make us cook too much. I kind of wanted to see your skills. What do you have for us today, Randy? What's going on?
Well, we have a whole spread of things we'd love to kind of go through and talk to you about, from cookbooks to baker boards to all the things.
Let's do it.
Things that we love in our kitchen and things we might want to give as gifts to others. So
I'm glad you guys did this, because when my mom was here over Thanksgiving, even just the conversation about what type of rolling pin to get, that is different than the one I grew up with, but there are tips that you guys have discovered after spending so much time in the kitchen.
Indeed, yeah. So
where
I'll
do we
let you
begin?
kick it off with the cookbook on the far right.
Sure. So my personal preference is the Cook's Illustrated Revolutionary Recipes.
This one?
It's really nice because it goes back to all the basics.
Okay.
But gets like the techniques that can get the recipes like perfect every single time.
Okay.
Well, so as a kid, like you sat down and looked through this book. You read
Yes.
Really?
For real.
Time.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's bedtime, P.O. Close the cookbook. Lights are going off. No.
Wow.
The proud dad, Randy.
Yeah, I know, right?
When he was first showing this love for cookbooks, what was going through your mind?
Well, to be frank, with other kids in the house, and I'm like, Pio, I got to cook in the kitchen. Like, you need to move the stool. Like, I got to get some stuff cranked out. But as it matured, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Really
Really
cool.
amazing.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
derail the conversation all day long. I just have so many questions, P.O. What's this other book you got here?
Yeah, this is Houston Cooks. It's one of our favorites because not only does it have some amazing recipes in it from our favorite people, but it's Houston. All the diversity, the multiculturalism, the cuisine. It's so fascinating. And so, for example, we had inspiration for a chocolate cherry kolache, which you can see here,
Yum.
from a chocolate cherry stout recipe in there. We've tried it. We tried it so you guys don't have to. Trust us. It's amazing.
Wow.
Just cook it. It's
This is the book you needed when you were like, where's all my delicious South Texas food?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, got it. For your
Oh,
hill
there you
country
go.
food.
Yes.
Get in there. Get in there.
I'm not going to not eat.
All right.
Yes.
What is this? Matt, what is this going on? Is this
Close. So
what makes this different?
It's a French rolling pin, so it has these like tapered edges.
Okay.
It's so that it's a lot easier to get even thickness of the dough, and it also keeps it from tearing.
Oh, nice.
So it's really nice.
You've got a little demo. You want to show us how you,
sure
how you
thing.
do that?
But as he gets that ready, we got a booze block baker's board here. It's really fantastic. We actually use their tabletops in a couple of our bakeries, and so we've put them to the test. And I will tell you, they stand the test of time. They're attractive, and for the kitchen, it's a great small footprint. And so again, booze block. We'll have the link ready for people who are interested in that.
Worth the investment too.
This is
How
really-
often do you have
this
to
is very
oil
good.
that? You have to add oil to it?
Yes, every few days, and but you know it's not that big a deal once you get in the hang of it. You're just oiling it to kind of the way I see it is if you treat it well, it will treat you well for a long time. And again, it's very attractive too.
It's
so
beautiful.
Worth the investment. So that's it. Pia, why don't you walk over here and grab the dough? And another item that we enjoy is this small little flour duster. Great little tool in the kitchen.
Oh, I've never seen one of
You
those.
can use it for cinnamon on a latte or powdered sugar on, a beignet if you're frying those up at home. So you want to go put that on?
Yeah,
And we'll
sure.
go ahead and,
Yeah, let's go for it, Pio. We got about a minute left, so we got to
Okay.
cruise through this.
Yeah. So go ahead and dust it. You want to go ahead and do the quick demo
sure.
with the rolling
That
pin?
duster is so clever.
That is a really good gadget
Yeah.
in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with this rolling pin, you like can hardly see, but like I'm barely pressing it all in order to get it like an even thickness.
Wow.
Well, and that's some nice dough right there. That looks so pillowy.
Made today. Yep. And so beyond that, great sugar and salt holders here. And so in the past, we've made savory kolaches with the salt finish. And so we do a quick little butter wipe here. And
Look
go
at
ahead
that.
and garnish with some
Gorgeous.
salt flakes.
Those are cute. So you just leave those out in the kitchen then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where do you find most of this stuff, by the way?
Gosh, I mean, Amazon, Sur La Table, Kohl's, anywhere, right? We have links for this specific item. You can certainly find it otherwise.
Sorry for reaching.
the
I've been
I'm glad you did.
Clever.
all day. What is this?
Yeah, so finally, last but not least, our holiday loaves, which were inspired by our poppy seed kolache here and then our cinnamon roll here. And so we just decided to make a special holiday version of those two kolaches specifically, add some festivity, some chopped nuts, some sprinkles, some color. And honestly, what a great gift. Who doesn't enjoy a great baked item as a gift?
That's true. I saw these on your website. So you guys just sell that people come in, those are ready to go, grab and go.
Well, a 48-hour pre-order.
Oh, yeah?
During the busiest days, we do have some extras for the people who want to come in and grab and go. How is it?
This poppy seed is my favorite.
Yeah,
I hope
mine
they're
as well.
all in my teeth. It'll be worth every poppy seed in my teeth.
Very good. Randy Hines, P.O. Hines.
Thank you.
you so much. We're tight on time. Next time we want the full demo so we can
Yes.
see from start to finish.
We'd love to do it.
How to make your dough if you will spill some of your secrets.
We will, for you guys.
Will you?
We will.
Okay, we're going to hold you to that. We
Okay.
have a link where you can learn more. Just visit our website,
Wow.
HoustonLife.tv, and look for that scene on Houston Life section. That is delicious.
This is the worst part of the show when I have to put the food down.